Welcome back to the channel and some more Monster Hunter Stories 3 content. Today we're going to be covering beginning and advanced combat tips and tricks. So without a long intro here, let's get right to it. The melee preemptive strike can take down small monsters such as Velociprey and large monsters like Aptonoth instantly if your level is high enough. Level 10 in the demo is high enough. Melee preemptive strike on other large monsters also does a ton of damage and leaves the monster open for attacking the first turn of the fight. This also works on groups of monsters if more than one spawn in the fight, doing damage and stunning all of them. Very good for Velociprey and Velocidrome packs such as that, or Ludroth and Royal Ludroth. The red diamonds under the enemy monster's health bar is called the Wyvern soul gauge, and the stat Wyvern fell damage is what you use to attack this gauge. Moreover, depleting the gauge causes a stagger or knockdown, allowing you to either get a free turn or to synchro rush attack. If this gauge turns blue after the stagger, this means all the monster attacks will miss you. Nothing can hit you that the monster throws at you while that gauge is blue. But don't let up, because this gauge turns back to red the next turn, but only has as much left to it as was left to the blue gauge before turning to red. Meaning any damage done while in the blue state will make the next corresponding red state easier to deplete. So do not just give up on attacking the Wyvern soul gauge. Make sure you keep going after that in blue gauge. It's just means that you can time that for an AoE and not get hit. While Synchro Rush is cool to use and does have its uses in standard combat, you may want to hold off for more difficult fights or matchups. While the damage output is relatively good, it lacks the strategic opportunity that it down gives you. While down, the monster loses an entire turn, and you have a free turn to heal, buff, pull off large attacks, or do damage to the new Wyvern soul gauge that appears after the knockdown. When facing a monster that you see a solid line between you and the enemy monster, this means that the monster is attacking you, and you can counter with the corresponding attack type that is strongest against whatever the monster is using. Remember though, monsters have different states, and that Rathian is not always using a speed move. When enraged, monsters change attack types, and this is usually indicated by something around the head, whether it be red glow or flames coming from the mouth. This is not your typical attack type known to that monster. If the monster has no indicator of whom it is attacking, it is either using a buff or it is attacking with an AoE, and you need to prepare for that.
Let's go.
A red cone or arrow pointing towards you means that the monster is using a named attack that cannot be countered directly with a head-to-head, and you must do something else to take care of this incoming attack. One of those ways is to select a monster that has a full kinship gauge, and then ride that monster. Keep in mind, you should not be just using your kinship skill right away arbitrarily if it's a more difficult fight. Switch to a different monster and bank that kinship gauge. You can go back and use it later by switching to that monster and instantly using the kinship. You do not lose kinship this way. Only between fights will you lose kinship, but within the same fight, it will remain until you use it. This allows you to do more than just attack the monster with your kinship ability. You can also use the monster's normal abilities, such as named attacks and buffs. Manually use a double attack, that's all the way on the bottom. So if you and your partner are both riding a monster, and they are not going for kinship attack, you can make them go for kinship attack if you are on your monster, and you will do a double kinship. You can also use items, including throwables, and best of all, do a normal attack into an AoE to avoid losing a heart at all, being as it simply kicks you off the monster and leaves you at 1 HP. This is a crucial skill for some harder fights like Espinoss, since some monsters' AoE attack cannot be cancelled, but rather simply delayed. When putting a monster to sleep, it will sleep until you wake it up by attacking it. This is an excellent time for you and your monster to apply buffs before going back in for an attack. Keep in mind, if your partner is alive at this point, they're probably going to attack and the monster's going to wake up. So you have one free turn. If they are knocked down, though, just buff up and heal up until they come back and you're all good. Some attacks have increased priority. This includes the favorite, Tail Stun on Purple Gypsros, and named attacks by your character. This is not a guarantee you will move first, but it does help with trying to break Wyvern Soul Gauge right before an AoE attack. Sometimes you will go first, sometimes you won't, depending on the monster. Also depending on where you are in the fight. Some monsters will, early on, you will go first with a named attack, where later on in the fight, you will not. So keep that in mind. When selecting a partner, remember to look at the top left of the selection screen and select your partner's strategy for battle. This could be the difference between winning and losing, especially against feral monsters. Your partners also all have their own style and abilities that make them different. Cora, for example, will tank attacks for you, while Eleanor will grant you tenacity once she gets down to 1 heart, allowing you to have a chance to survive an attack that would otherwise taking you out. There are felines around the map that will sell you decorations, as well as some that you can find in chests littered about. Do not discount these. They are absurdly useful and can really take a weapon from not usable in a fight to being an integral piece needed to turn the fight in your favor. Sweet Spot is one of these, whereas some hammers do not have Sweet Spot. Sweet Spot is super useful. Also, some hammers have Sweet Spot, but aren't the same as the decoration. We'll get to that. Do not forget to eat at your tent before going out. The veggie meal is especially useful at night for nighttime den raids, as it gives you an increased chance for rare instances in dens such as double nests, barrel felines, and treasure chests where you can find things like traps to help you in fights. Speaking of barrel felines, if you see one, quickly change to Cora as your partner, as she will one-shot them first turn with a barrel bomb. Also, certain attacks on your monster can two-shot them, such as, yet again, Tail Stun on Purple Gypsros. Always experiment with monsters being placed in different habitats, as they get abilities based on the habitat they go in. Changing the monster habitat from fire to water can give you an edge in a fight you would otherwise not have. Sometimes damage is not the goal. Sometimes it's about causing status effects like burn, poison, or accuracy down, and then taking a weapon that does great Wyvern fell damage, such as in the Brachy fight. Also, these status effects can be stacked, meaning burn and poison can both be active at once. Just because an attack is called the same on one weapon as another does not mean it does the same damage, Wyvern fell damage, or even cost the same amount of stamina. Always be looking into your attacks on a new weapon to check out the stats. Those are my quick tips and tricks for combat. Some of them are a little bit more obvious than others, but that should be all you need going forward into the full game. If more things do come up, we will be sure to cover them. But for now, get out there, enjoy the game, enjoy the fights, enjoy the monster habitat restoration, and we'll see you next time. Bye.